I feel like I'm gonna rate this album. Oh my god. I would like to start this video off by saying I have been a casual Motionless in White fan for some time. That being said, I have never followed through with the beginning of the band up until now. I haven't even really sat through an album listen until this record, Decades. What intrigued me about it is that they released it on the anniversary of their 20th year of being together, and that makes me wonder what kind of work is in this body of music. Is this going to encapsulate like their evolution? Is this something completely new? All I'm known from Motionless in White is that they're kind of heavy, and then sometimes they blend a little bit of their clean vocals, which I really enjoy. So when I first listened to this record, it was pretty much like a blind listen, no expectations whatsoever, aside from the 3 singles that had already been previously released. So I wanted to kind of go through it and give my personal opinion of this album. So the first track is titled Decades, which is the name of the record. And I want to play a little bit for you guys because I wanted to kind of set the tone and what I kind of expected after I first heard this song. Because I think I had a certain idea in my head, and then by the end of the whole album, I was just like blown away in a sense. So I'm gonna play the intro of this track just so we can check it out. It starts off pretty like standard, what I expected from them. There's a little bit of like interesting production choices here. And of course the bleh. It's hardcore. Is that all you fucking got? And then it just really kind of kicks off from there. So when I first heard this song, I was like, I instantly got like Slipknot vibes, even though I'm not really a Slipknot fan and haven't heard a lot of their music. But that's like the first impression that I got. And what surprised me the most about it, because I listened to the whole record reading the lyrics as well, there's just some really heavy lyrical content in this song. So that's what hooked me and had me stay a little bit longer than if I was just glancing through this track and like, oh, it's just another song. But I was really impressed with what they were writing about, and I kind of got this enduring type of message. And I can kind of relate to that as they were talking like about through struggles and stuff like that. It has a very good breakdown and just gnarly vocals on this. So crystal clear until some points I was like, they almost sound like wet. I didn't know another way to describe them, but it was so cool to hear, interesting, and I really appreciated that. Overall, the song had a good structure, and I was like, okay, we're definitely setting a tone here, so it kind of makes me wonder what the next track is going to be like. The next track, it has an interesting name. It's Log In, Crash Out, and I had no idea what this was going to be about, and I just want to showcase this song because it ended up being one of my favorites because of the lyrical content, but it also had a sound I really, really liked. And immediately what I noticed about this was the use of like electronic elements, which was surprising. And it's got like this build-up. And it doesn't take long for the blah and to get heavy again. What I really appreciate about Motionless in White are these poetic lyrics that really get the message across. Blue, light, black, love that. Make sure to like and subscribe. Here we go. The source code is hidden on our headstones. Devil's in the downloads. I really like their commentary on how we're all just kind of a slave to technology, really, and social media. I'm no different than anybody else, but it was so refreshing to hear a band this big take on something so deep and something that should be addressed in music, because I feel like a lot of people can relate, and that's what immediately hooked me for this. I really enjoyed the more melodic structure of this song compared to Decades, for sure. And I don't know, I just felt this was really deep and really appreciative that they addressed this topic. This next track, R.I.P. RIP featuring Skylar Grey, I actually reacted to this and it's listed on my Patreon. And I really wanted to like this track as a standalone, but my problem with it, as I noted in my reaction, is that it was just too much the same musically. I wanted something a little bit more varied. But I say this as the last few days, I've had that chorus just stuck in my head, and it is catchy, so it definitely is an earworm, and it worked its way, you know, into my rotation. I really love the whole aesthetic of the song. You know, this kind of somber, emotional desperation of dark love. But I just wish there was something a little bit more stand out about the whole instrumental of the track. But I will say, within the flow of the album so far, it's a nice palette cleanser because we've got Decades that's super heavy and Login Crash Out is kind of upset and heavy as well. So this kind of lulling like break already so far, it was welcome as I was listening to it. The next track, Fight Like Hell, ended up being one of my faves actually, and I want to play it for you because I think this was maybe the start of when I was figuring out that this record is doing something to me. It just had some surprises. We're gonna get past the intro a little bit here, but note this guitar tone.
This is my brutality.
It was giving me like Tom Morello vibes. That was fun when I heard it. So already I was like really into the rhythm and the sound of the song. And I want to fast forward to a part where this is where I was like, oh, okay, Chris, we're definitely going there. So this was after the first verse, after the chorus. I think we're going to jump into the second verse here. Rapping? I love this. I love this. And then right after that, this section reminded me of Linkin Park, Chester Bennington. And then again, catchy chorus. I just love everything about this song. It was so melodic, and also I'm starting to see some little production notes. The quality is evident as I'm going through each track right now. But there's just like little bells and whistles in the background that just make me feel like this is just not a typical like blah 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 band. You know, there is substance here, and I was starting to have the tides turn for me on this record. Now this next song is another feature. It's called Playing God with Corey Taylor. I did listen to this when it first came out and with no context of the lyrics, and it just wasn't my thing. I honestly didn't give it a second thought, but in the flow of the album, I still didn't care for that much. I guess I don't like that tone that they're using and just the heavy sound. But what did Motionless in White do? They hooked me again with the lyrics. Death by engagement. Again, kind of talking about social media. You falsify truths. Without the views, you're nothing. What a statement. I will never bow down to a platform of puppets playing God. Like, just listening to this right now, again, I've got chills. And I might not like the structure or the style or the genre of the song, but they made me a fan. I don't like this type of music, but just the messaging has me hooked. And I'm not gonna lie, Corey and Chris sound really good together on this song. I think they each bring something a little bit different. Corey's voice is iconic. And I was like, wow, even a song I don't like, I kind of like it. And I found myself listening to it a little more than I thought, just for the messaging alone. And that's where I feel like, okay, you know, you've got me hooked with some electronic stuff, a little bit of melody, but then there's so much lyrical gold. And we're like maybe not even halfway into the record, which I should also point out, this album is 14 tracks, excuse me, which is so nice when you think about it, because you get to really like bite down on it and digest it. I feel like a lot of albums, they tend to be, I don't know, maybe it's an expense thing that they cut it down and you don't really get to enjoy the full spectrum of whatever it is they're trying to do. The next song is All That I've Ever Known. I didn't have too many notes about it, but it does go back into the more electronic side. Again, another song that stands out with having their way with words. This one I also feel is a Linkin Park vibe, not so much because of the rap. I think it's just more the structure and the way the song sounds throughout. But I think this is one of the first ones where we actually kind of hear more of a dubstep genre stepping out. So I'm gonna try to find this part real quick. So it's kind of like, I guess, the breakdown right in here. That's crazy. Like, who would have expected that from Motionless in White? Like, oh, what? Another part I like is on the last chorus. Right here, it comes back in again.
So take this piece of me.
See, it's like, I think it's a key change, and I just love the way Chris sounds here. This track was kind of like more of the weaker ones for me, but again, I found something that I loved. I really liked the addition of the dubstep and just that key change in the last chorus. It makes it feel like it's not dragging out. It changes it up a little bit. So again, yeah, I found something else that I like in a track that I don't like, which is really rare and it's really special. Now, this next track we're going to get into is another feature with Anthony Martinez from Dark Divine. The song is called Blood Rave. And I think this might be my favorite track. I'll have to figure it out by the end of this video, my top 3 or 5. But I want to take you through this song because I just had a blast listening to it. I was just jumping and dancing. Let's check it out. So it's coming in like kind of electronic, a little bit of dubstep, which given the name Blood Rave, it's supposed to be that kind of vibe, I guess. There's a guitar. It's like the slow beat, and I could just picture myself in like a club listening to this and just like. And right here where Anthony comes in, I've never heard him sing before, but he sounds so smooth here. I really like that. Here we go. Oh, I get chills listening to that chorus. Fantasizing about another life. It's me right now. And then it gets heavy. Like, what's not to love about this? Like, I really, really enjoyed it. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of Panic at the Disco and Medic Droid. That might not make any sense, but that's what first came to mind when I was listening to it. Like, there's definitely elements of something a little bit more maybe on that emo pop side, but it was so fun. And I think this was the most surprising track in the whole list of tracks, for the original songs at least. So I really, really liked it, and I definitely listened to this a lot. Now this next song, Love at First Bite, from the title when I first saw it, I was like, okay, is this another kind of Rest in Peace? Is this something like a werewolf? We have to figure it out. I did think the lyrics were a little bit cheesy, and it was just so crazy how, again, I'm writing about another song, writing my notes, and just when I'm about to write it off, something amazing happens. So this song kind of reminds me of like Monster Shippers, like Your Name. Right here where I'm expecting like another breakdown, maybe something heavy, or like Blood Rave. A guitar solo? Oh, it's so good. Like, I don't know, maybe I have this preconceived notion about these type of bands, these genres, like, and something I don't see really in modern metal, modern rock anymore, at least what I've been listening to. There's no guitar solos. It's always blast beats, it's heavy breakdowns, it's bleh all the time. So when this solo gets thrown in there, I was like, what? Never mind. It was such a good time, and I was just blown away yet again. How am I going through each track and finding something that I love, and how am I just, my mind is being blown, it's being changed. I really, really enjoyed it. It kind of reminded me of a Ghost solo. I just haven't put my finger on which song, which solo, but it tickled something for me, and I was just so excited when I heard it. Like, while this night might not be lyrically like what I really wanted, it's still fun. It's still like something I would pair with Blood Rave as probably like a dancey tune, but I would listen to it again and again just for the build-up to get to that solo. This next song, I think, starts back again about songs that are not really strong for me. The song's called Count Back from Zero. It does have a really nice main riff, I'll give it that. It's dark lyrically, but it's also hopeful. So that's, again, I'm pulled in by these lyrics, I'm pulled in by the messaging, even though I feel like the song isn't as strong for me. It's not something I really vibe with. It did give me some Midnight Danger vibes. If you guys are kind of leaning into like horror synth and stuff like that, you should definitely check out that duo. It would be right up your alley. It does feel like it's one of their songs, but with lyrics. There's a lot of vocal choices in this song that I really like. There's a pacing in the second verse, and actually I will show you guys. The pacing, and then that guitar underneath there. Look at that second vocal. Never mind, I like it, you know? It's like every time I want to like critique this song, I'm pulled back in. I don't know if I'm just like, my taste is easy like that, but it's just, these songs are fun, even though they've got like really heavy messaging. And again, what gives them a lot of, I guess what boosts them up is like production quality has been smooth throughout, everything is balanced. And again, bells and whistles, vocal choices, melody arrangements, key changes. This is what keeps it interesting for me. I will have to say Blood Pack, which is the next track, is probably, I would say, my least favorite song. It just didn't really do anything for me. It's got like a distorted spoken part, which might be kind of cool for some people, but it was just kind of there for me. I mean, in the sense of the flow, I could probably listen to it, but I'm just not connected to it at all. It's got a nice guitar coming in on like the second verse, but like I said, there wasn't too much that I had for it just because I didn't vibe with it that much. Now, the next track was, I believe, their first single released, Afraid of the Dark, which is a reaction video I did on my YouTube channel. I still like this song. I really feel it's got the most emotional message, at least one that I can kind of feel connected to. And the vocal performance, as with all the tracks, but this one especially, it does something to you. It really like shakes you to the core. I got chills listening to it again. I did get emotional the first time that I listened to it. And I don't know, they're just masters at bearing their souls in a really tasteful way and something that hooks you. And I think a lot of people really liked this song, and they were excited for the album to drop, and I could totally tell why. I did realize upon like several listens as I was reviewing the album that this song is kind of a slow burner for me. We've got a lot of high energy in this first half of the record, and then this one kind of drags it back to more of an emotional place, which is totally fine. Towards the end, because we do have some really nice treats after this track. And this was like maybe the biggest surprise outside of the original written songs, because Motionless in White did a cover of Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hart. I was like, what? Again, this hardcore metalcore band is doing an 80s cover. Like, this is just, I love this, and I love that song. And while I thought they could have done a little bit more of their flair, it's still like a really good cover, and I would listen to this all the time. I did want to showcase a little bit of it because it sounds more modern, and just everything sounds super clean. Sounds kind of the same, right? It was so interesting hearing Chris like in a more subdued way.
Watch you weave and breathe your storyline.
It just sounds great.
I wear my sunglasses.
Seems like each phrase of the song, a little bit of something gets added.
Keep track of
Let's get into this first chorus. Oh, when he hits that. I love it, I love it. Let's skip ahead to the solo because that's one of my favorite parts. That guitar tone. You see, the little bit of dirty vocals was coming out. Here we go. I'm a sucker for this sound. Nice. I love it. So yeah, while it's not the most original cover, it's still pretty decent. And like I said, I saw that in the track list and I was like, there was no way, like, props to you guys. Now this next song is a part of a set of bonus tracks that was on the album Hollywood. This was another one of my favorite tracks and it has some interesting notes, so don't come for me, but I'm gonna play it for you guys. It's got an interesting intro melody and riff. Like dark synth, also giving Midnight Danger a little bit. That synth, like, oh, I love it.
It's always on the weekend, like neon in the night.
I want to fast forward to the chorus because this is where I had my little weird note. And over here. Those runs right there. Same. Okay, don't come for me. It reminded me of some dad rock melodies. Like, I don't know if it was like Nickelback, Saliva, and I was like, that's tasty. I like it. There was just something unique about it, and I love the lyrical content as well. It really paints a story, you know, about Hollywood and just the feelings about it. There's a galloping guitar, I think, more towards the second verse. I want to showcase that as well. Right here, galloping guitar. What's not to love about this track? It's so much fun. And yet, while I was enjoying this, I had another surprise guitar solo. Here's another breakdown, right? Harmonized guitars. Oh, that part. Guys, like, can we get some love for that? Like, not only did I get one solo, I got two solos. And what I like about this is that I've found, when some metalcore, hardcore bands do end up putting a solo in their song, it's super short, like, it's like almost if like the guitar player did not write it. It's like they didn't really like spend a lot of time on it, but I like that it was extended for a little bit, and that just shows like there's space to do something else. We're not just gonna run through it and do the same thing that everybody else has been doing. We're gonna make it completely ours. And it was just, everything about these songs so far has been tasteful. Even if it's been something that I don't vibe with, I was like, there's a reason for it. There's a flow, there's an art to it. And I really like this song. The solo was chef's kiss for me. The only thing I will say is that it has an abrupt ending, and I felt like, because I love solos, it would be cool to have like a little end cap solo, like at the end, da-da-da-da, and then end it. It was just too abrupt for me. Now the final track, the 14th track out of this record, is a song we've already heard before, but now it has a feature. I don't really know the reason for that. It's Fight Like Hell featuring Outlier. Essentially, the song is the same. I couldn't really tell the difference between the two vocalists. Maybe it's because I'm not familiar with Outlier, but it didn't do anything for me. I still would have just preferred the original, which is ended up being one of my favorite tracks anyway. Didn't have too much notes on it just because we've already kind of heard the song. I feel like this album took me on a ride. This band took me on a journey with Decades. I feel like it was a complete surprise and I loved it. Like in the middle of all this, I kid you not, guys, I was like, I gotta go see them live. Like you sold me, okay? You got me. You got me. And I was just like annoyed because they are on tour. They're going on tour. All 3 Texas dates are in the summer at amphitheater venues outdoors. No. And there's 3 openers. I'm like, no. But maybe one day I'll get to see them. But yeah, that's how much I really enjoyed this record. Like they convinced me to try to get a ticket to one of their shows. And I think that's super rare. Super rare. Now, before I give a rating, I wanted to talk about, you know, some other side notes of the album, like the album art and what I liked about it and what I didn't like about the album as a whole, just to kind of solidify my final rating at the end. The album art is Chris with this really cool, gory, brutal, like, monster face. Like, I really hope it's prosthetics because that would be super cool. That's art. And it's got the album name on the side, sideways, just like their name. It's very cool. I don't know if it conveys Decades. I don't know if it conveys any of the things that they talk about. Maybe if you looked a little bit into it, maybe there's some inner turmoil, inner reflection going on within these songs that maybe it can kind of like, you know, be connected. But I just didn't think it conveyed Decades very well, in my opinion. I still think it looks really brutal and cool, but it also kind of maybe misleading in a way because of like me. Like what I expected from this band was not what I got. What I expect from looking at this album cover, I don't think I got all of that, which is totally fine because I love the record. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the album art. I think I have said like a lot of good things about the record, but just to solidify a few things, first and foremost, production is flawless. The way everything is balanced, the way it sounds, Chris is not getting buried, he's not outshining any of the instruments. There was a lot of nice variations within each individual song, so every chorus doesn't sound the same, every breakdown doesn't sound the same. There's bells and whistles of synths and some electronic ambiance. There's heavy tones, there's fun, danceable dubstep going on in these songs. And they have some real quality lyrics, guys. And a lot gets lost in translation. I feel like if I had not had the lyrics on the first listen, it probably would have went by me. Like a lot of the hardcore music does. I feel like lyrics and context is important to kind of get an opinion of a song or of a band. And I'm so glad I did because it got me hooked. Like look at Playing God. I did not like that song and it's winning me over because of the lyrical content and the delivery of the lines. So stellar. Also, the vocal performance, it was evident in Afraid of the Dark, but just every track is so emotive, and I'm never bored. Honestly, I'm never bored, and I feel hooked in. It feels authentic, and that's when I feel that I know I've got a quality product. All these things just happened in one album, and I love it. So all that being said, I don't know if I have any dislikes. I think maybe the last track didn't need to be there. It was essentially the same song. Or if you wanted to have his feature, take out the original track. But other than that, I don't really think I had a bad thing to say about this record as a casual fan, as someone who has not followed them from the beginning, as someone who didn't follow the marketing for this album, just kind of taking it, here's a record, here's our art, here's our music, what do you think? I really enjoyed it, surprisingly. You know, and I do like a few songs, but this is where I've actually I can listen to this record all the time, even if I'm not in a particularly angry mood. It's just, I think what gets me is the effort. The effort to be authentic and do something different, and just putting in the extra work to not make everything sound the same and not, maybe bend to society's expectations, to the metal scene's expectations of your art. I really, really appreciated that. So I feel like I'm going to rate this album. Oh my God. I think I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, guys. Like it was on point because of the way it made me feel, and all the little things I noticed and how I have it on repeat. It is good. It is a good piece of work. And I think the most solidifying high rating for me was like, they made me want to go see them. Like, what's more successful for a band than having their music listened to or purchased and then they get a new fan or maybe a more invigorated fan? That's gold right there. So bravo to Motionless in White. I hope to see them in concert someday. I feel like that would be such an electrifying experience. And now I gotta pick my favorite songs. It's gonna be really, really hard, but I think I might have narrowed it down. Or maybe I have not. Oh my God. Okay, in no particular order, we're gonna go in with Log In and Crash Out because of the messaging and the sound. Fight Like Hell is really good. Blood Rave. Hollywood for the original solo. And I'm gonna give Love at First Bite just for the solo. I have too many songs, guys. Yeah, I think we can go. I think we can go with that. We'll be good with that. We got Hollywood, Blood Rave, Fight Like Hell, Log In, Crash Out, and maybe just for giggles, Love at First Bite. Those are my favorite songs so far. But yeah, what a record, guys! I'm so happy with it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my takes, or is there something that I missed while I was listening to this album, or any other key pieces of history that I need to know for this band. Let me know anything and everything down below in the comments, and I will see y'all next time.